The majority of the global population thinks humanity is getting worse. But what if everything we believe about moral decline is a lie? We've all heard the complaints. People are meaner than ever. Social media has made us selfish. Civil discourse is dead. And every day it feels like the news confirms this. War, violence, inequality. It's easy to think maybe we are spiraling downward. But are we? Here's a powerful truth, backed by science. Psychologists Adam and Daniel Gilbert have studied this feeling that we get and the assumptions that follow, that morals are deteriorating. But guess what they found? That is false. Entirely wrong. It's only a powerful illusion, meaning it's not real. It's, what do you call it? Fake news. For decades, people worldwide believed that our morals are slipping. In 1940, people said that youth were ruined. In 1970, they said society was collapsing. In 2000, they claimed civility was dead. Today, they're still saying the same things. But guess what? When researchers took a real look, they found no objective evidence of widespread moral decline. As in zero, nada, zilch, zippo. Let that sink in. This sense that we're on a moral decline is essentially all in our heads. It's perception, not reality. But that impact on us individually. Think about this. If you believe the world is getting worse, that people are less kind, less trustworthy, what does that belief do to your outlook? How does that influence your behavior? Maybe even your acceptable principles. You start acting defensively. You lose faith in others. And over time, we lower our standards to match what we think everyone else is doing. And that is what's actually dangerous. Let me break this down. We know from evolutionary biology that countless studies that humans have a built-in bias towards negative information. We remember and fixate on what's wrong. And the world around us loves to capture our attention and trigger our emotions by reminding us of the small percentage of things that are wrong. News feeds, social media, conversations, hell, our own damn negative self-talk is constant. So here's the kicker. We've been doing this for centuries. Look back through history. The Roman historian Livy, 2,000 years ago, worried about the, quote, sinking of the foundations of morality. The poet wrote, "The world is always ending. Each generation has thought that theirs was the one facing unprecedented challenges." This belief is timeless, and it's a constant illusion, a repeated pattern of thinking that humanity has fallen into, again and again and again. So what does this mean for us? If we're constantly looking in the rear view, thinking that the past was better, safer, kinder, we get trapped in a cycle of pessimism. And that pessimism, that actually changes how we see the world. John Doris, a professor of philosophy at Cornell, she explained that this bias actually impacts our moral standards. When we think the world is deteriorating, we lower our expectations. We even may begin to let our own standards slip. We start holding others at arm's length. We stop reaching out to strangers, and we let kindness fall to the wayside. What would be the point, right? Think about that impact. One person after another, convinced of the same lie, slowly lowering the bar for themselves and everybody else around them. And that is an actual problem. This isn't just negative thinking, it's a virus of the mind, infecting how we see each other, poisoning our potential. But here's where we as leaders, impact makers, and high achievers come in. We set the standard. We can shape the culture around us, in our businesses, in our families, in our communities. Every interaction is a chance to raise the bar when everybody else around the world feels negative. We can choose a different path, one of optimism and resilience, one that defies the status quo. So the next time you hear somebody say people aren't as good as they used to be, pause and ask yourself, what am I doing to set a higher standard? What can I do to make a difference right now? Because the reality is, humanity's problems aren't new. Every generation faces its challenges, but those who make a real impact, they're the ones who see past the noise, who knows that progress starts from within. Every time you lift somebody up, every time you choose to be kind, every time you choose to be supportive, and every time you choose to be resilient, you break that cycle of pessimism. Now imagine this. What if, instead of complaining about the state of the world, you focused on building something better? What if you took that energy spent on worrying and turn it into creating, towards helping, towards lifting people up, towards making life better right around you. Imagine leading with the belief that each of us has the power to make the world better, not by looking back, but by looking forward, by standing tall, by holding ourselves to the highest standards. So here's the challenge. It's easy to let pessimism creep in, to start thinking that it's all downhill from here, the world's going to hell in a handbasket. But don't let that illusion cloud your vision. Remember, it's just that. It's an illusion. It is fake news. And as leaders, we're in a unique position to change that narrative, to build communities and workplaces where optimism and integrity are the standards. So let's make today the day we stop looking in the rear view mirror and start leading our world forward towards a better future. Ask yourself, what can I do right now? How can I lift others up, inspire them, encourage them, challenge them by our lead? Because when we do that, when we lead by example, we shift the culture, we start a ripple effect, we become the change. So what are you waiting for? The world's not falling apart. It's waiting for you to step up, to shape it. The world's ready for leaders who believe in better. We need you to be the leader you are here to be.